Hey guys, Josh here with JE Vintage Minis in Orlando, Florida. What we have is a 1970Z that I got a list of items that we'll need to work on this bike. Paint is good, so we're not going to worry about painting the frame, but there's a lot of other items that the owner requested that we go through and upgrade or replace. There's a pretty simple list of things that I'm going to be doing on it. So we got the engine work. The engine has silver paint all over it. It was sprayed, so I'm going to work on getting all the paint removed off the block. I'm going to do some clutch work on this motor, and the owners opted to go with a bigger bore setup. I have a spare CT70 head I'm going to rebuild and clean. Went with an 88 jug and piston from TBparts. I'm going to use a K3 key-in carb from a Z50. I was able, you can get some more larger main jets for this carb, so I'm going to end up adapting this carb with the stock air filter for the rigid tail bikes. Then I'm going to replace the points and condenser and set the timing. So I'm going to work on the motor. Electrical side of things, we have a harness that's in the bike that's all cut up and hacked up, so we're going to put a factory replica harness in. I'm going to put the new switches that need to be added to this bike and put in a battery framework. Gas tank has a liner in it, but it's got a lot of junk inside of it, so I'm just gonna kind of do a gentle cleaning. I'll use a Vaporust and see if I can't get a lot of this contaminants removed from the tank. The kickstand's tweaked up actually on the foot peg to kickstand mount, so I'm gonna do some tweaking there to see if I can get it back and make it like new. We're gonna do placement of the hardwares, the screws, bolts on the rims. Wheel work, I'm going to blast down the rims, recoat them with Honda Cloud, repack, or not repack, but replace the bearings, put new shoes on, and then I'm going to strip the silver paint off the hubs and then polish the hubs back to their natural aluminum finish. Put some new sprockets on with a new chain, and replace the brake cables. There's probably some other details that I'm overlooking. Handlebar area, we're gonna replace, I think these are from CT70s or CT70 setup on these handlebars, but it's still factory bar under here, so we're gonna put the original throttle assembly back on, get rid of this, and get it back to the original setup. So I got a box from CHP out of Texas. It's got about 90% of all the parts that I needed to do this build. Got my hardware, new harness, wiring, battery, new Bridgestone tires, some tubes. I'm gonna put a new side cover on the engine, my new cables, brake cables, new throttle assembly kit with the hand grips, sprocket. New hardware I'm gonna put on the engine once I get that cleaned up, since everything's been painted over. So as mentioned, I'm going to use a CT70 head, clean it up, cut the seats, new valve, new hardware, get it vapor honed. Aluminum jug from TBparts. This is the 88cc kit, matching piston. This is comes silver, so I'm going to get this painted with high heat black to help make it match a little better to the factory. Original carb, which I think I showed you guys in another video. I can still get these for the Z50s. These are coming from Europe and Japan, but this is a key-in Z50, and then I got some bigger main jets that I'm going to tune to the larger bore CT70 head and get that Z50 carb to work. Use the original air filter. This was a mock-up just on a Chinese carb. But this boot right here allows you to hook up the KO, K1 style air filter on the K3 and up carb. So this is a boot that is from a Z50R airbox boot. So just took it from there and makes a pretty snug fit. So I'm going to run with it. I did modify a intake. It's got the larger port. Not sure if I'm going to be able to make it clear due to the main tube on the frame and the height of the carb, but I did re-drill it and kind of cut down the flange so that would mate with the smaller flange width on the Z50 carbs. Not sure if that's going to work. My other option, which I was trying to avoid, I don't have it in front of me right now, is to use the original intake, and probably just gonna bore it out a little bit, make it port matched to the CT70 head. So trying to avoid doing that to the old vintage intake, but that might be where I have to go with it if this one won't work for me. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get this done, put some high heat paint on this aluminum silver cylinder from TBparts. I use the Duplicolor engine enamel. Because it withstands up to 500 degrees. This, in Florida, we have Advance Auto. That's who I get this from. It's probably like $8 or $9 a can. Works good. Only thing I notice is you get down to the lower, when it gets down to the lower volume in the can, it tends to turn gray. I've had that happen with a few of my cans, so that's one of the only complaints I had, is that I don't ever really get to use all the paint up in here before it starts to have a gray hue to it, which is strange. But just gonna do kind of a quick and dirty tape off, close off the bore. I'm gonna give it a spray, and once everything's nice and black on the fin area, I have a 3M Rolock bristle brush that makes real quick work of just removing any of the paint that gets up here on the mating surface on the cylinder. So we'll just go ahead and get this sprayed. Let's do some small coats. Let that one sit, and then I'll flip it over and come from the different direction. So I think I'll be sneaking my Bella, my dog, here in the next few series of videos. She's 13. Probably the last week she's going to be around alive. She's not doing very well right now. So just, she's my shop dog. She's been with our family for 13 years, so I'm just going to kind of throw her in some of my videos so I have some memories of her. So just gonna pull the seat off, get the tank pulled so I can put some evaporust in it and let that sit for a day. Owner, there's a liner in it. Owner's not sure why the painter put a liner in it. He wasn't sure if there were any pen holes in it. So I'm just gonna leave the liner in there. I'm not going to remove it just in case it was preventing leaks. We'll just do a cleaning and see how good I can get it with getting all the crap that's inside of it. So let's get the seat off. Once I get the seat and tank off, then I'll be able to kind of look at the wiring harness and get that reran. Get the zip tied to it. Let's have to cut the zip tie on the wire harness. Alright, so got the seat and tank off. Tank is here, and underneath are some decal stickers that were cleared over, so This is Specialized Finish of Miami, Florida. Custom Cycle Finishes. PPG paint logo. So this painter, takes some pride in his work and puts a little hidden information underneath the tank. Pretty cool. But I got this. As you can see, there's some running. That's really nasty gas that was in there. I'll put some evaporust in this and let it sit for the day. So this is evaporust. If you never used it before, really good product. It's biodegradable, non-caustic. You can get it on Amazon or at your local store. It's a rust remover. Basically just let it sit on any kind of rusty material or let it bathe in it, and it will do its work, and it's actually reusable. You just keep using it until it doesn't do its job anymore. So really good deal. This is right now like 15 bucks on Amazon. This is a whole gallon of it. I'm going to go ahead and put it in our tank and let it sit. Try not to spill it. Get some more and fill it up to the top. Alright, so I got this. Now we can look at the harness. Now I got the seat and tank off. A lot of weird stuff was done on this bike. Not quite sure what's going on. A lot of cutting and taping with electrical tape, and then it's like a rat's nest inside of the headlight bucket. So that's why we're going to swap over and run the harness and get all new control, electric headlight switch. And only problem I ran into, which I totally didn't even catch, I thought we were going to be good to go to use this, but I totally just didn't even think. They hacked off the brake lever perch, so I'm going to have to order some new handlebars. So that sucks, but I'll put an order in for those, and then I can get the handlebars corrected. But in the meantime, I'm going to run the electrical. I'll run the harness on the frame up to the headlight, into the tail light, into the engine. Alright, got the handlebars off, the new harness and key switch is installed, everything's connected, tidied up. Now we only have a few wires in here as opposed to that crazy mess of wires. Gonna do the battery now. I'm gonna put a acid-filled battery in, get that set up. And I think what else I'll do today for the videos, we'll just kind of clean this paint off. This is all dried up now, but I'm just going to clean off the overspray and get my cylinder head broken down, ready to get new valve seats cut. And I think that will probably be it for this initial video on this bike. I think the next video I'm going to work on the rims, hubs, get those repainted, get the hubs polished off, put new tires, tubes. I got to order my handlebars, and let's see, that's probably what I'll try to work on in the next series. And then if I can fit in the engine work, I don't know if that's going to take a whole video or not, but we'll approach that part of the project shortly too. Alright guys, stay tuned for more.